evening, SRA Nation, and welcome to Season 12.
Today is going to be a new challenge, aside from being sent for. We're racing on the surface of the sun, apparently.
Heading down towards the main start line.
Maximizing that track just behind, that's exactly what we were talking about, that one corner. So critical to your lap time, you have to send it. Misses the apex curving there by a little bit.
Everybody's now bunched up, and you do not want that.
Wide now at the intersector one in the spot you really don't want to, but the fight's not over.
Still there on the inside, and the McLaren's still not going to give the place up.
And we're off and away for SRA.
Hello and welcome to the final round of Season 13. Today we have the Division 2 at cold and dark Valencia.
Very Norwegian weather for the race.
Well, could be even more, could be also wet, which it isn't. And I think everybody's gonna be happy for that, because wet and dark is a terrible combination.
Oh, that'd be too much around here.
Yeah, this track is horrible in wet. Anyway, it is a almost exactly 4 kilometer, roughly 2.5 mile track with 14 corners. Very difficult. Lots of tight corners, corners where the car wants to slide. Tire wear is a real problem on this track.
Yes. This track really invites you to want to brake later and later and harder, and the moment you go over the line, you really suffer for it. The one saving grace is at least the track is wide enough, you have enough runoff that it's not like race ruining when you go too deep. Just lose a lot of time.
Yeah.
But with that combined with some very easy track cuts to very lazily get for nothing, this track certainly can bite you if you start slipping.
Yep, that is correct. The drivers are already...
Chad is telling us that I'm loud as hell. So turn me down a smidge.
Okay, it should be a little bit...
How about now?
Maybe...
Looks like I'm still a lot louder than you.
Yeah, that should be better now, hopefully. Okay, the qualifying is already going on, so let's see what is happening on track.
Oh, and I'm on the wrong scene. Sorry.
So we have drivers on their first flying laps, I believe.
Yep, they are just getting started. Hi, Koa. Glad to be back. Filling in due to some unforeseen absences. Coming out of retirement. And yes, Doug is racing.
That is nice to see. I think he has missed quite a few races this season. Oh, and Worley unfortunately runs wide on the exit and invalidates his first lap. And on this track you really don't want to do that, because it is very hard to do a good qualifying lap here.
Yes, the fast lines are literally a millimeter away from invalid. And our initial times are coming in right now. Our bankers, right now, Ian Byron up top with a 31.7, a pretty respectable time. That's about what I was doing last night. I'm sure they're already doing it, and they're going to just start beating that time out of the water.
Yeah, there we go. The first lap below a 31.0, we have a 30.9. And
That didn't take long.
Yeah, that's very respectable. Unfortunately, Worley has invalidated again, and this does not bode well for him, because he still has no time on the board, and this lap is not going to count either, I believe. And it looks like we are missing quite a lot of silver drivers, if I'm looking at the list correctly.
Yeah, it's a sparse grid tonight.
I wonder if that has any championship implications. Because I do
It
not believe
might.
it was completely decided.
It is not.
So in silver, the likely
Josh
possible winners.
Josh Worley needs a miracle to take
Yes.
P1. He's in P3 right now.
I
But
believe
he
he
would need
would.
to take P1. He would have to win the race, get the fastest lap, and Olhausen and Velasquez have to DNF.
Yeah,
Then and only then does Josh Worley take P1. So I don't think that's happening. Andre Velasquez has a better chance with 324 points. He's got to finish P1, and Olhausen has to finish P5 or lower, and Velasquez will clinch the driver championship.
If I was Olhausen or Velasquez, I would push the car to the finish line if that's what it takes.
Yes, because they do not have it locked up, and they certainly know it. And similarly for the Gold Driver Championship, Ivan McCroat currently in the lead. The minimum position he needs to do to win it and clinch it is P2 or better. Donovan Colton, not far behind, he's got to get P1, and McCroat has to finish P3 or lower to clinch the championship. And Josh Damiani's got to win the race, get the bonus points, and McCroat needs to finish in P4 or lower.
It is difficult to predict what's going to happen on this track because this is a track that not everybody has spent a lot of time on, so there may be some shakeups in the normal order. It's also extremely difficult track for some cars, especially when it comes to the race, because the tire wear can be so brutal. And we have a challenge. We have actually quite a bit of challenge for the sub 31s. Now Cody Plath and Byron have also managed to get below that, and Velasquez is not far behind.
Let's see, nobody's particularly gaining right now. Artem is, though. He's just down half a second.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, that's not gonna be enough to change anything. But
if he's lucky, it'll fend off a couple of the slower Gold drivers.
yes, that's
Unlikely,
possible.
though.
And things are really not looking good for Wally. He still has no time on the board, and I believe he'll have time for one more lap after this one, if he has the fuel.
Let's see. He'll make it, yeah.
Actually, he might be able to do 2 more after this. Yeah, I think he can do 2 more. But he is now gonna finally set a valid lap. And it is a good lap. It puts him right on potential P2 in class. Only a tenth and a half behind.
Oh, Velasquez, I just jumped to him. Oh no, he did. He found a huge surge in time and pace in Sector 3 or the end of Sector 2 and just put himself up in provisional P3 now.
There's not a whole lot of improvement going on right now. But Artem is finding time, if he can make the lap count. And oh, Worley unfortunately invalidates. So I believe he's gonna get 1 more lap. He should definitely get 1 more lap if he has the fuel to do it.
Olhausen's looking unassailable right now with the best lap so far and best sectors 1, 2, and 3. And he's on track to do the exact same time again. Dude's a machine.
Yeah, looks supremely confident and easy driving. No wasted steering inputs. It's putting the car where it needs to be.
I can tell you my delta was a lot more variable when I was qualifying last night.
I find this track extremely difficult to do quali laps on. It might be related to car choices as well, but I cannot get a good qualifying lap in. And Olhausen is done. He could have done one more lap, but I guess he didn't have the fuel for it.
Dang. While the rest of the grid is all down on their time or not improving by anything much.
Yeah, that's another problem on this track, is that because it's so rough on tires, unless you are extremely inconsistent in your qualifying pace, you're very unlikely to improve on the last couple of laps because the tires are already gone, where it's just absolutely brutal.
Would you mind turning the game audio up a bit?
Let's do that.
Just a bit.
That maybe?
How's that, Diego? One more? Pipe faster, we're waiting.
I turned it up a tiny bit more. Hopefully it's better now.
There's one more. And yeah, I'm looking at the mixer now. We can do some more. Can you get at the bottom of the yellow?
I might
That's
need to
more
turn
like
myself up if I do that, but we'll
yeah,
see.
no more. That's all you get, Diego. He says, there we go. We nailed it. We did it. And as we've done it, the silvers are done doing it. And the golds are out on track. Doug Mitchell out front, unsurprising. He sniped that first garage spot. Admin privilege, I think they call it.
You can also play the alternate game where you wait until almost everybody has joined, because if there's
Yes,
too
that
many
worked out for
people-
me.
Yep, I had the same. Although
the
I
battery's great.
think there's not enough people on the server right now. 'Cause there's
No,
only
it's a
22.
very sparse grid. There's only, yeah, and I think you need like 38. Something, it's the number somewhere around there. I think it varies track to
Yeah,
track,
it varies
but you
track to
need
track.
into the 30s.
Some tracks only have like 25 or 26 pit stalls, but I don't.
And I think
don't
some have
remember
like
the number
40,
here.
like Spa, right?
Spa has, I think, over 60.
Crazy.
Yeah, at Spa you can get so unlucky that your pit stall is in the first part of the first half of the pit lane, and it takes forever to drive to the pit exit from there. It
Yep.
really sucks in qualifying if that happens, but hey.
Tires cooling down the whole time.
Yep. It is interesting to see how the Mustang versus Ferrari game plays out tonight. Because theoretically the Mustang is quite strong here, especially for overtaking, as the straight is relatively long. But on the tire wear side, it is extremely rough on the rear tires, which are the limiting factor on this track.
I think traction control is going to be a lot of people's friends. Whether they have the ego to admit it or not, we'll see.
It is tricky because if you run too much TC, it is gonna limit you and cut too much.
Oh, for sure. But it might save your life. I was struggling with that choice all the time last night, because normally I run with very low TC, 1, 2 tops. But my rear end was kicking out so often, I was having to be so careful with the throttle. I was thinking about 3.
Yeah. I never really felt on this track that the problem is on power. I think the problem is more on the brakes.
Yeah.
The car just
For most of the track, yeah, it's brakes.
It just really wants to rotate when you have like an aggressive setup on it. And the first laps from the Gold drivers not very impressive so far.
No, very cautious. The track is optimum. The temps are stable, so there's no reason they should be going any slower.
Yeah, that's... Well, we'll see. Maybe they'll. I mean, all of them seem to be improving. Colton is improving by almost a second, which will put him provisionally in top 3, I believe.
Oh, Logan Schaefer was up a quarter of a second, but just fell down to 0.14 of a second. Man, I cannot speak today. Gain slipping out of his grasp through sector 3, I mean. And that'll give him a modest bump up to P6.
Yeah,
He's not in the driver championships battle, but he's gonna perform pretty well tonight.
I think we also have some team championships that are not decided. Let's see.
I think champion has pretty much run away with it.
But the second place is theoretically open, and third is extremely open with only 1 point between the teams.
Oh yeah, Riller's pacing taking P2 is looking pretty unlikely, but the battle for P3 is definitely on in the team championship. So the keep eyes on Felipe, on Thomas, on Doug, and Ivan, and see how they finish, because there's only 1 point between those teams, so it's all on the line now. I got to perform tonight. Tiebreaker.
There's not a huge amount of points between the top 3 of the Gold Drivers Championship standings either, and the way things are going right now, it is actually looking pretty good for Colton. Well, it was until Macro put it on provisional pole, which changes everything. But
yep.
Yeah, that was a good lap. And Macro is even improving on the next lap. Lost a little bit there, but still. Oh, but that's an invalidation. That is unfortunate. He was a 10.5 up.
I'd still be feeling pretty good in his shoes right now. Donovan Colton, his nearest rival for the driver standings, not showing up yet. He's more than a quarter second behind, and he's only got a 10th improvement on his delta right now. Got to find more time to get up there to get in the front to start this race, to fight McCroat, or it'll be all over before it even starts. Because if McCroat can just drive away from this at the start, it's all over.
Yes, and since they are in the same car, it is unlikely that there's going to be any significant gains to be made by saving tires or anything.
Right. It'd be hard to find any advantage.
And it is starting to look like the tires are running out. Hardly any green showing up on the board. Well, just as I say that, Colton finds quarter of a second.
So's Hartman. And he's up to P9.
The front of the pack is impressively close, with 9 drivers within 3/10 of the pole, 13 drivers within 4/10 of the pole, and 15 drivers within half a second of the pole. That is impressively close.
We got some shots fired in the chat. You can tell that Nick is still in Hawaii, and Doug has been busy with life. What a polite way of putting it.
LeMay is 2/10 up. Let's see if he can bring it home.
Oh, that's huge.
And that would actually put him on pole at the moment if he can keep it going.
And nobody's going to challenge him either. Nobody's even close.
Yes.
Just on their current laps.
And there's very hardly time for
Oh,
one.
and he's losing time in the last corner and getting it back, but not enough. Oh,
Yeah.
poor exit. And he's going to lose a 10th there.
A little bit.
Still dropping more and more. No!
Yeah,
So close. 600ths.
Unfortunately, the exit from the final corner was not ideal. Maybe a little bit too greedy on the throttle and got a little bit of understeer there. But he still has a lap to go.
4 seconds left. Nobody's going to get in a cheeky last lap over the line. 34. No, way too late. And that'll be it for Eric Boardman on... Wait. Oh, never mind. Oh, has Nick Sand found the time? He's found a quarter of a second, but he's needs more, and he's only got 30 seconds left in this lap.
Well, I mean, he would gain a couple of positions if he can keep that going.
Yeah, but another 2/10 or so would give him so much more.
That is true. Doug is also,
There it is, 4/10.
Doug is also a
It's gonna be a
10th and a
huge
half
jump.
up, which will just about, well, would have given him a position if he managed to hold on to it, but unfortunately lost it in the final corner.
And Nick Sand and Doug Mitchell each jump up 2 spots. Not at the back row. Good job, gentlemen.
And it looks like everybody has decided that they are done. So let's take a look at the standings while we wait for the grid process. So at the top of gold we have Ivan McCroat with a decent lead over Donovan Colton, who is closely followed by Josh Damiani. And at the top of silver we have Thomas Olhausen with a lead, not a very big one, over Andres Velasquez. However, looking at where they qualified, it is looking very good for Olhausen. All he needs to do is to not get involved in any shenanigans, not make a mistake, and he will clinch that championship very easily. And,
Yeah, Olhausen, for any of his competitors to have a chance, Olhausen has to finish P5 or lower, or a lot lower in some circumstances. So he just got to keep his nose clean, stay up front, don't do anything silly, and he's got it. Good position to be in.
On the team standings, it looks like Champion Motorsports has this pretty much already done. I mean, theoretically, I think it's possible because there's
like a P2 and P3 finish and a DNF from Brian and Josh would do it, but super unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, it's again a situation where even if your car is broken and you're 2 laps down, you're just gonna bring it home just for those 3 points from the last place, and that will likely be enough to keep it.
By any means necessary.
However, between, well, P2 and P3 is much less decided, although
formation lap is starting.
A little bit unlikely, and between P3 and P4, everything is still open.
10 seconds.
I'm wigging out here. I think it's because I reconnected my controller.
So, today for the starting order, we have Ivan McCroat on the pole. We have Thomas Olhausen starting alongside him in P2, followed by LeMay and Damiani in the second row, followed by Muller and Morley in the next row. Behind them, Kraus and Colton, followed by Hartmann, Anderson, then Schaefer, Platz, Allen, Byron, Hicks, Velasquez, Higgs, Fickard, yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that, Nixon, Jack Mitchell, Boardman, and Artem starting in the last place. But on this track, we can expect quite a lot to happen on first lap, so the starting positions, it helps to be at the front, but it doesn't guarantee you anything.
Yeah, murder can happen and arise at any part of this grid, so we'll have cameras everywhere. We're watching, gentlemen. Always watching.
Murder, mistakes, all kinds of things can happen very easily here.
For the last time, Michael, we don't have a Doug foot cam at Breaks Twitch TOS. You gotta check out the OnlyFans. Would you mind turning on the broadcast overlay? Because it is almost time to go.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Go, go, go.
We are go. Race the first corner.
I got my eyes on the back of the grid in the picture-in-picture, and we're looking like 3 wide, 4 wide, maybe? I'm seeing a little bit of rubbing, a little bit of trading spots all up and down the grid, but everybody's surviving so far. Ooh, real loose. Was that an Audi? No, that was a Mustang in the mid-pack. Looking fishtailing like a Porsche for a moment.
McCrowd is already running away from the pack.
Can you turn up the game volume? The Helicam, it's inaudible. Oh, we're side by side, Logan Schaefer and Kraus.
The pit is now open.
And Schaefer gonna miss out on the opportunity. Almost 2x2 behind him though.
Oh, we got the spinner.
Oh, we got it. It's a parking lot. Well, maybe I was being dramatic, but yes, a couple people really lost out on time there. Who's that? Jason Allen, Mitchell, and Nick Sand? Oh no. Don't hurt the admins. They know how to hurt you.
Yeah, looks like Doug fell to last place, unfortunately. Yeah.
He is. I'm sure he's fed up and seething right now. Oh, what a disastrous start. Not a great season. Sorry, Doug.
It doesn't quite get it done.
And checking in with our leaders, Ivan McCroat is in fact running away with it. Already he's pulled out a second since the last lap, so he's up by 1.3 seconds over Olhausen, who's just shy of a second ahead of LeMay. And the grid is starting to split into 2 battles, but in those trains they're all within less than a second, so lots of racing still happening right now. Wow.
Kraus unfortunately lost 2 positions with a small mistake, but is fighting back against Byron. Still side by side. It'll be hard to do it from the outside.
Yep, and eventually has to tuck in behind, and now he's got Velasquez behind him ready to pounce too.
Oh, Kraus makes another
really
mistake.
bouncy. And there it is. Worley reeling in Damiani. Less than half a second now. Inching closer and closer. Closer! Side by side. Do they touch?
Yeah, there was
And Worley's through. Little argy-bargy. I'm sure that'll be inspected later, but for now, Worley is climbing.
Clearly he feels like he did nothing wrong, because he could have lifted and given the position back, but he did not, so clearly in his opinion he did not do anything wrong. Quite a tight pack all the way from P5 to P9.
Yes.
Nobody can afford a single mistake.
It's like 4 seconds between front to start of each of these battles.
And we have Nick Sand in the pits. Oh, that was...
Surely that's repairing damage from the incident earlier.
we will see soon enough. Oh. Will that work? Yes, it will work.
It'll work.
Maybe. Now it's
He's
a
got
drag
the
race.
inside. They're both Mustangs. And he hangs it around the outside. More grip, more speed. Donovan Colton maintains P7.
For now.
For now.
And all that squabbling means that now Higgs from behind is also in the fight.
All over Anderson.
Yes, it's gonna be difficult to do anything in the Lambo though, because he isn't extremely fast on the straight, and overtaking on the twisty parts requires commitment. Yeah, our pit reporters confirmed that Nick Sand spent roughly 10 seconds extra in the pit stop, so he must have repaired damage.
Rex out. So looks like Doug Mitchell's still slumming it out on track with whatever damage he may have maintained from that incident, and he's a whole 12 seconds behind Jason Allen, who I think was caught up in that as well. But Jason Allen has managed to catch up to the back of the pack with Artem. Surely, I think Doug's got to have a lot of damage, because his last lap was 133. Well, his best isn't that great either. Wait, that was rude. Sorry, Doug. Yeah, rough night.
And so there Higgs going wide on the exit of turn 1. That is almost certainly going to be a track of warning, which you really can't afford to take at this early in the race. This track is quite difficult for those, because you do need to use all the track you can use legally, and it is very tempting to push the limit, and then you end up with a
I
penalty.
picked one up on lap 2, turn 1, and thankfully I didn't get any more speed penalties, any track cut penalties after that, but that's because I was nervous. Oh, and Diggs and Fickard are really getting into it.
Yes, and because they are fighting, that gives Nordman an opportunity to try to stick his car in there as well. It is surprising how much time you lose, even just like fighting a little bit. Olhausen is must lap away from Macrones. The gap has stabilized in just under 2 seconds.
Right.
And
Yeah,
Olhausen has
Olhausen
started
isn't
pulling
really
away
falling
from
back anymore.
Olhausen has started pulling away from the cars behind. To some extent, not massively, but LeMay was a little bit closer earlier.
The Jason Allen recovery race starts now. I've got wing cam pointed at him right now in picture-in-picture. And I'm going to keep it there for a while.
And Doug does indeed seem to be in trouble. He is not gaining any time on the cars in front. In fact, he has lost multiple seconds over the last 2 laps.
Diego, mind your manners. He said Jason died, so we all won? Hello? Rude?
Might not want to say that.
He keeps such sayings in the DMs, you know? Jason Allen sniffing all over the tailpipe of Artin, looking for a way through, not finding it yet. Meanwhile, Artin's just keeping the gap to Boardman within a second. Might start slipping if he has to start defending against Allen.
And Hickson,
He says, "Don't boo me, I'm right."
Hickson and Scheffer are trying really hard to get past Anderson, but that Mustang power, even for the Lexus, the Mustang power seems to be a little bit too much right now.
It's stupid strong. Multiple times last night on the final corner and into the first corner, like through the main straight, we'd get equal exits, but the Mustang would just walk me. It would gain 2 car lengths on me and then beat me by a car length to the next corner. It was ridiculous.
Well, you would think if any car, the Lexus would match that, but it doesn't seem to be the case, although there is a Lambo in between, but you would think the Lexus would at least walk over the Lambo. Olhausen is still matching pace with Macron. And now Worley has actually been catching up to LeMay. Looking at their lap times, yeah, Worley is just a little bit faster.
Diego says Logan might retire 8 times Schaefer.
Well,
he has been a bit of a drama queen in Discord, hasn't he? Oh, we got some action. Anderson getting side by side with Colton. Battle for P7's heating up.
Worley is also now right behind LeMay. The gap has closed almost completely.
Hey, Damiani's been falling back from Worley since he got through. And he's stuck in with Felipe now.
Yeah, it's actually Worley that's the fast guy between all of those. So LeMay, Damiani and Miller all have basically identical lap times. But Worley is almost 4 tenths faster on previous lap than any of those.
Yeah, you got to keep it up.
Yeah, unfortunately, overtaking here is not exactly easy. So it's one thing to be faster, it's another thing to overtake. And for some of these guys, especially for some of the ones who fell to the back, I feel like some kind of undercut would be the smart way to go. Like I almost feel like Jason Allen have already pitted. Yes, the tires will be terrible at the end of the race, but you still lose less time overall.
Yeah, traffic can be a lot worse, and I'm wondering if that's what Logan Schaefer's thinking about right now. Because and I've got him in the pit, and he sits it up the inside of turn 1, and got caught up with, was that Hartman or Higgs? And he is stopped on the side of the road now, waiting to get going again.
Oh, that's rough. Extremely rough.
I was just thinking, I was going to say, once you finish speaking, if he should start thinking about an undercut and getting out of this traffic. And he should have, yes. The results are in.
Yeah, now he definitely...
Now he's behind Jason.
Now he definitely wants to just catch up to the car in front and then pit immediately once he does, because he's going, I believe he's clearly faster than the cars ahead.
Yep. And the audience reviews are coming in. Quote, generational performance. Oof. This guy. And might retire 9 times now. That's rough. Thank you, audience. Thank you, chat.
Oh. And we had...
Imagine being behind Jason. And we got action. Anderson gets through Colton.
Yeah, Colton ran wide on the exit from the high-speed right-hand corner and bottomed out really badly. I saw the sparks flying, and that forced him off throttle to avoid oversteering off, which was enough for Anderson to capitalize, get the move done. This track gives you absolutely no leeway for mistakes.
No. Well, I mean, you can keep it on track while making mistakes, but people will get up your inside and pass you.
Yes. I mean,
Easy.
even something as small as locking up under braking. There are a couple of places on this track where it's very easy to lock up even in a car with ABS.
Yep.
And that's enough to allow someone to just completely blow by you.
One sneaky one that gets me once in a blue moon is the last braking zone for the last corner. Sometimes, randomly, I don't know why, because like I do it frequently, but if I brake with my outside tires on the green stuff, on the green paint, sometimes the rear end just snaps on me out of nowhere, almost immediately. But 98% of the time it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, there are some places where some cars tend to bottom out on the curbing, like going into turn 2 in the Aston. I cannot brake straddling the curb like I would like to do, because it always either bottoms out the splitter or snatches on the front wheel.
Oh, big shunt from Donovan Colton there. Was that?
But that was
Or
Higgs,
was he the receiving
Higgs
end?
running into Colton's back. Didn't expect quite such a big slowdown. And that's another
and
thing.
Meanwhile,
that can
Jason Allen just got around Arthur for P17.
Yeah, we have been waiting for that for a while. But yeah, that's another problem on this track, especially in very dissimilar cars, is that you can get really easily caught out by someone braking much earlier than you think you need to brake. And even though you're prepared to brake early, you're not prepared to brake that early. Oh, look at this. Schaefer's already being blue flagged and lapped by P1 and P2, who are less than a second between each other now. Olhausen still reeling in. McCroat lurking in the shadows and just might snipe this victory tonight. Yeah, there's a problem here if you hit from last place. It is quite possible to get blue flag.
Yeah, because the lap's short enough.
Yes, especially if you are like significantly in the last place and not just marginally. The gap between McCroat and Olhausen had closed almost completely, but then just as I switched the cameras, Olhausen made a mistake and fell ever so slightly behind again.
Oh, Higgs is all over Colton right now. Might want to look at that. It's hard to interrupt, but it looked for a moment like Higgs was about to send it around the outside of Colton on the final corner. Should have been pretty cool. Arx, you got 10k bread just in time. What are you going to use it for?
So speaking of straight line speed, I'm sure nobody's surprised that Schaefer has the highest speed trap speed, and by quite a significant margin. He's done 257 kph into the speed trap, where the fastest Mustang has only done 253, so 4 kph less for the Mustang.
What speeds were the Porsches doing? How much slower were they? A fair bit slower.
Yes, a fair. So the fastest Porsches are 9 kph down on the Lexus.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah, that is the Porsche life. All the cornering, all the acceleration, none of the top speed. I mean, it isn't as bad as the old one. Oh, and Schaeffer has a drive-thru that must be for track limits.
He's punching the ground right now. This race has chewed him up and spit him out. Dang. And Ark says, livery day, gotcha. So most of the track, most of the grid is start to spread out and take their spot in the pecking order, but we still do have a couple scattered fights. Still battling over P8. For a moment, we still had a 3-way battle over P11. Eric Boardman and Max Diggs are still duking it out. And, of course, McCroat and Olhausen, our championship contenders, still within a second of each other up front.
And Miller is also right behind Damian, you know. And has a bit of a moment. Just as we switch cameras on him. And the commentators curse.
Fickert closing the gap on Kraus. Looking all up the tailpipe of Kraus right now. Oh, and is he going to go around the outside? Nope. He's going to send it. Nope, not going to work.
Yeah, I feel
Close
like
racing between these two, and it's inviting Diggs and Boardman in now. We got a 4-way fight for P13.
yeah, it's always the problem when you start fighting really hard.
Oh, and the snap!
Mass.
Huge snap from Fickard before the apex of turn 1. And that he's going to tumble all the way down the order, down to P17. And it's going to be licking his wounds in the pits soon, I imagine. But we got to jump back to the front of the pack. Again, Olhausen has closed up the gap to McCroat even more. Well, as he's been waiting to try and pass McCroat, LeMay has gotten in the fray. He's within a second now. Olhausen still having taken the fastest lap of the session so far with a 32.1. Hey, no, excuse me, that was his last lap. His best lap was a 31.3.
Looking at the last laps, LeMay is significantly faster than either of these guys in front. So I think he's gonna be right there.
Looks like the rest of the battles in the mid-pack are fizzling out.
Whoever in the pits serving the drive-thru, I believe.
That's game over, man. Game
Unless he
over.
has decided to park it. No, he serves the drive-thru and comes out. And he's still ahead of Nixon.
Oh, wow.
Just about. Nixon is not having a good day.
Oh, and the grid is tightening back up again in the mid-pack. 4-way battle for P8 brewing up right now. Colton leading Higgs, leading Hartman. And then a small gap to Byron leading Velasquez.
Yeah, it seems like Holden has been a little bit of a cork in the bottle.
Yes.
I'm a little bit surprised some of these. As we see LeMay head to the pits. I was just gonna say that I'm surprised we haven't seen undercuts yet, but
Yeah, clearly he had the pace over them at the moment, and any time he spent behind them would have just been wasting it. So,
yep.
fresh tires in front. Hopefully, clear air it is for him.
There
We will
is
see where he
absolutely
comes
no
out, though.
way he's gonna get lapped because he was right next to the leader, and the lap is it's long enough for that. If you're in last place, it's a risk. If you're anywhere even in the mid pack, it is unlikely that you get lapped.
Right. And more people following his lead. Higgs into the pits. We should start expecting to see more of this. This is prime time to pull the trigger on a small undercut.
It's interesting to see if either of the front runners reacts to LeMay going for the undercut. Are they gonna stick with the strategy, or are they gonna try to cover?
We will see soon. McCroat and Olhausen 20 seconds away from rounding the final corner. Getting another look at that pit lane might be tempting. We'll see if one of them bites.
Oh, cross with the drive-through.
Ooh.
Track limits. That is extremely unfortunate.
Yeah, who's
And
having a good
Olhausen
race?
reacts. Olhausen in the pits. He goes for the cover.
Ollie Hartman, Donovan Colton into the pits as well. And unless everybody else starts to pit right now too, this is really going to put a damper on the battles. Everybody's going to have clear air soon. Oh, Felipe getting real close up to Damiani after he makes a mistake going into, what was that, turn 5?
Yeah, unfortunately, Felipe also makes a mistake on the exit. Just a little bit too greedy on the throttle with high amount of steering in the car. And that's all it takes to get a tank slapper.
Olhausen is out of the pits now and does have plenty of clear air, but LeMay is right on his tail still, of course.
Yeah, they have.
LeMay's going to be really mad about that because now no point in doing all that now.
Well, I mean, if
still stuck behind Olhausen.
in the pits, Macron decides to also react to the cars behind pitting. And also Worley and Damiani and Anderson are pitting as well. Trying to challenge Olhausen with some cold tires on his outlap.
Yeah, this is the time to strike.
It feels really bad when you have that chance for one lap and you can't make it work.
Yup. Yeah, every turn after that, the difference between y'all's tires becomes more and more negligible. And Olhausen starting, well, not exactly driving away, but maintaining that delta. He survives. Alright, but where's the man of the hour, McCroat? Exiting the pits. I got the camera on him in the pit. And he's fallen! He exits behind Olhausen and LeMay. P3 for McCroat.
McCroat had a really, he lost 3 seconds in the pit stop to the
Oh
others.
no, he's gonna be kicking himself for that. Oh, every second matters when you're fighting at the top like this.
I believe he must have missed his pit box because it is 3 seconds longer.
Yeah, if it was 3
stationary
seconds, that's how
time.
long it takes for them to shift you over. Hartman getting past Byron.
And the pit cycle has actually put Worley right behind Macron.
And most of the rest of the field is now taking their pit stop as well. Good for us. That means we get to see continued battles here.
Yeah, and especially if there have been jumps that have been done during the pit stop that might generate some very interesting fights. Now that Olhausen has tires up the temperature, it seems like LeMay just quite doesn't have the pace.
Muller exiting the pits. And he's going to do so safe and alone. Who else? 988. Velasquez going to exit right behind somebody, I believe. Second behind Colton. And everybody else will get out of the pits too without incident. It's a very lucky because that's a very treacherous pit exit that spits you out right on the racing line of cars that don't really have an option not to go that wide.
And it seems Schäfer has decided that if my race sucks, I'm at least gonna take the purple lap.
Not bad, not bad. 31.1.
Although it is quite possible that someone
Oh yeah, that's a quarter of a second faster than Olhausen's time. Nice.
Well, it is possible that somebody might take it now that everybody is on fresh tires that are more or less up to temp, but
We are halfway through. Keep it up.
they only have a few laps to try
Yep.
because the tires will degrade pretty quickly.
But yeah, now that everybody's served their pits, there are pretty much no battles left anymore. We're just left with Hartman fending off Byron for P13, Olhausen fending off May for P2, and that's it right now. We'll see what happens when Fickert comes out of the pits. He and Doug are going to be the last two to have served theirs, and there's Alan, who is within a second right now of Max Diggs. Alan been stuck at the back of the grid for a while now. Oh, and just as I say that, he must have been listening because he just got past Fickert. And also, Fickert just loses a spot to Artem as well. What's going on? Can we get a replay of that? I can get a replay of that.
I can try. Okay. I have a feeling he
Oh,
might...
was he serving his pit? Never mind. I'm wigging out, chat. I'm wigging out. Drew Bailey saying Doug's P1 stop the count. Too late, sorry. You should have pulled the kill switch about 30 seconds ago. Window of opportunity is over. Jason Allen making more headway. No, he's trading spots with Diggs. Battle's kicking off there.
Oh, drive-through for Artem.
Oops.
Track limits. Strike
Alright.
again.
We warned everyone, or the audience, that this track will sneak up on you with those track cuts and drive-throughs.
Yeah, I had to drive like 20 minutes. Final warning. That was not ideal.
Oh, no, that's stressful.
Not recommended.
And Doug Mitchell exits the pit second to last, not far ahead of Nick Sand, who is serving, who's in the pits right now.
I have no idea why he's in the pits. I mean,
So Ivan McCroat has actually started falling off the back of LeMay, and
yeah.
has left LeMay and Olhausen to fight for P1, and Worley is catching up to McCroat. Are the stars going to align? Wait, no, Velasquez, if he wants to take the gold class driver championship, he's got to win, and Olhausen has to be P5. And he is currently P10s. He's not in this fight right now, so never mind.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much
I meant silver, sorry.
incentive Worley has for actually trying to overtake, unless there's a really good opportunity. But you can at least make it clear that he's got the pace.
So Donovan Colton has to win, and McCroat has to finish P3 or lower to clinch it. Probably not going to happen. He's P9 right now. Josh Damiani has to get the fastest lap and win, and McCroat get P4 or worse. Not impossible. He's only like 10 seconds behind the leader, but also unlikely.
Yeah, at least all the drivers' championship battles for winning the championship seem to be pretty decided as things stand at the moment. Worley goes wide and probably gets the track downs. Hopefully he doesn't get too many of them.
Looks like Byron's reeling in Hartman. He's been within like 4/10 of Pauly for a while now, but now he's really reeling in. Thinking about sending it around the outside of the brakes, not going to work out. Not close enough yet. But you can tell he's licking his chops right now for this. His last lap was faster by about a 10th, and his fastest lap is also faster by about a 10th. But will that be enough to make a pass around here? Probably not.
Oh, and that looks like a little bit wide from Byron. Need to be careful with those. LeMay seems to be slightly falling off from Olhausen. Morley is still sticking with McRoads, but not quite close enough to actually try anything. And Olhausen takes the fastest lap with the 30.797. That is very fast for a race lap. You have to remember that this is a silver driver. I'm sure he's going to be considered for gold for next season, unless
Oh, absolutely.
maybe even Division 1.
After this performance, yeah.
Colton having to be a little bit defensive with Velasquez tail.
Oh, getting close. Oh, did they touch there?
Maybe a small bump. I believe Colton probably got a little slide there and had to not get on the throttle as early as you would normally, and maybe even stay on the brakes a little bit longer to catch the car. And that surprised Velasquez clearly.
That is such a fun set of corners. But this is the next best chance, and he sends it up the inside. The door gets closed on him, and he's going to lose a lot of time sitting on the apex going slow. Not very happy about that, flashing his blinkers right now. But that was quite a brave send.
In the meanwhile, Byron and Hartman side by side, I think they exchanged position. We missed it while watching that.
And did they just change? Oh, yeah. Byron must have beat him around the outside on the main straight into turn 1. Chase now and reeling in Eric Boardman at a considerable clip. He'll be right on top of him this time next lap.
There's only a few close battles. We have Anderson on tail of Damiani. We have Allen right behind Boardman. And Hartman and Byron still haven't quite resolved that.
Oh, look at this. Eric Boardman gets an awful exit into the final corner. And it looks like Jason Allen's going to sneak up the inside in the braking zone. Gets the apex. They're side by side in the exit through it.
I think
Is it going to be a drag race to the next corner? No, Jason Allen pulls ahead. He's got it. Unless the door's open. Is it going to be a send? He's not going to send it, no. Nice racing by Jason Allen.
Had to work quite hard to get there. He's had a pretty hard race overall.
Yes. And he's kept his nose clean since and kept the pace up. So, he kept himself in a position to capitalize on that. I've got the picture-in-picture sitting on Rory's hood pointed at McCroat for now. I'll leave it there for a bit. Because that is our next closest battle right now up top for P3.
And Logan Schaefer has another drive-through.
Logan. Get it together, my man.
Track limits.
Pushing too hard. Worley creeping up on McCroat quite a bit last lap. McCroat did an invalid 31.3 and Worley did a 30.9. So that explains why they're fighting again. But both their fastest laps this session are damn near identical, off by 3 thousandths. So their potential pace is pretty much identical.
Velasquez
Question is who can put it down consistently now.
Velasquez was right there with Coulson, almost trying to send it too wide. Backed out at the last moment. It's really rough in a car that is faster on the twisty bits, but doesn't have the straight line speed.
Preach it, brother. Oh, Anderson inching up on Damiani. Damiani must have had a pretty squirrely corner there.
And Worley is still sitting with McCroat. I'm not sure if he's even, like, is he just sitting there, taking the points home? I don't know.
If he's not going for a gap that exists, he's not a racing driver. And Brian Anderson gets Josh Damiani tumbling 2 positions. What's happened here?
Replay.
Just went from P5 to P7 here. Oh, final corner break. Second to last corner curve, and
Big
You
mistake.
get spit out on this really odd. I've never seen any track with a curb like it, but it's just not consistent. There's like a 5-foot span of it where the outside support of it that's normally angled in just drops away for a moment, so your car just has an almighty bounce. Like I said, I've never seen anything like it, and if you push too hard, too wide on it, it catches you out just like that.
Yeah, the track is designed for MotoGP, but primarily.
Oh, and Worley is through McCroat. We got to catch the replay of that right now.
McCroat just let him by. Felt like he just lifted and let Worley go.
I got the replay in the pip right now. Helicam. And what happens here? Looks like we missed the moment in that time span. But yeah, Worley's through. One more piece of the puzzle is complete.
Now it isn't likely to change anything in the championship, and it is also. Well, I mean, it is still possible for Worley to catch LeMay. The gap is only 2.9 seconds, 2.8 seconds, and there is still 16 minutes to go.
It looks like for this D2 Silver Championship, Worley could take, he could take P2 off of Velasquez. He's got to outscore him by 29 points. And he might be in a position to do that tonight.
I think he might currently be doing that. I do double check the scoring.
Yeah, so Worley's in P3 right now, and Velasquez is in P10.
The Worley will.
And that would do it.
Yes.
Wait, that would earn him 32 points. How many did I say he needed? He needs 29. So yeah, that would clinch it. He would get P2 if he brings it home just like this.
Well, that's
If
also
Velasquez stays in P10.
there is also the drop round to consider. I don't know what Velasquez's first score is, but it seems likely that this will do it.
Let's say provisionally, it would do it. Barring more math that I'm not going to do on the fly.
Here's an Alanis catching Hartmann quite quickly. 6 cents previous lap. He's gonna join the fight for P11, 12, 13, a few laps. And Worley is catching LeMay, but unfortunately he is also invalidating laps. I would hope he doesn't push so hard to get the drive
That'd
through.
be devastating if he does that.
That would be, yes, it would be devastating, and it would also be silly, because unless he knows that he absolutely must get P2, there's no reason to risk it.
Right, he's got nothing more to gain
Oh.
by doing that. Oh, we got
Velasquez.
battles.
And by Edwin Colton,
And he's back
Such
behind.
a dangerous
Oh,
place.
and deep onto that curb, and he takes it back.
both make a mistake there. That Velasquez comes on top. And gets finally by. He's been trying that for probably the last 20 minutes or so.
So now that he's P9, maybe does World need P2 to take P2 in the driver standings? I think he might. Less than 10 laps left to go in this race. 12 minutes on the clock. And for the most part, looks like the battles up and down the grid are over. We've got a four-way fight, or one small train behind Velasquez. And besides that, everybody else is in their own bubble.
Well, Miller is also close to Anderson. There is a disturbing amount of invalidated laps being shown.
Yeah, we see a lot of red on the charts.
I would really hope.
On current and last laps.
I would really hope nobody gets a drive-through at this stage, because that
So
would
close
be
to the end.
very disappointing result.
Oh, Allen's getting all on top of Hartman. Nearly touching him right now. He's going to have to look around the outside to turn one to get this done.
Outside into turn one.
And he's a little later on the brakes. Can he hold more speed around the outside? Yes, he can. He's still side by side, though. Job's not done. And he does close the door into turn two. Nice move from Jason Allen. Not washed. Diego doubting, hating in the comments, saying Jason finna kill Pauly. He would never. Imagine being overtaken by Jason. True.
It seems like the actual cork in the bottle might have been Byron in that train, because Hartman is staying right with Alan.
Yeah, I got the picture-in-picture parked right on his rear wing right now. This is going to be our last hope for action tonight. Less than 10 minutes left on the clock.
We have
Running out of time.
We have a silver driver leading the race, all of a sudden. With a 3.5 second lead over LeMay, going for a very impressive silver win.
Yeah, and Worley not too shabby himself in P3. Velasquez in the top 10 in P9. It looks like almost a random mix between the two divisions, honestly.
Worley is still catching LeMay, not very quickly, and he's still invalidating laps, which is somewhat concerning. But he is slightly closing the gap.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you noticed or not, but you are recording in OBS, and you don't need to be.
Yep.
Allen still trying to inch his way up to Byron. Still within a second. And Pauly Hartman also within a second of Jason Allen. So a three-way fight still going on here. Boardman has not been able to catch up. His last few laps have been a couple tenths slower than Pauly. So he will not be catching up into this battle. But he's got more than enough pace and a little enough time to hold off. Hartman has enough time to hold off Boardman, and Boardman hold off Diggs. So I don't think we're going to see much more changing in the grid order now. It's all down to Colton, Ian, and Byron to make anything happen.
Never say never. It is so easy to make a mistake on this track, and that could change everything.
Yeah, but these D2 drivers are pretty consistent when they don't torpedo the race right at the start and get tilted. Though it is hard to ignore the mounting number of invalid laps. Surely somebody's going to suffer some consequences for it soon. You can't keep getting away with it.
It seems like they might have been thinking about that as well, because right now, looking at the statistics on the over the couple of, like, the last lap and current lap, there are less red laps on the statistics.
Yeah, there's been an improvement. Maybe they're taking note.
So quite
Starting to
possibly
straighten
some
up.
of these guys are now on the final warning and actually having to not push the limits. Looks like this is the only battle that's going on right now. All the other gaps seem to be increasing very much. Byron trying to hold Alan behind.
Jason looking a lot stronger in Sector 3. Oh, Mustang getting real loose there, losing a lot of time. Still, Jason doesn't have anywhere to go around him.
Yeah, that's the big problem on this track, is that even if the guy in front makes a mistake, it doesn't necessarily help you that much.
Yeah, they got to go really deep, rejoin wide. And once more, Jason Allen's got to try. 5 minutes left on the clock. It's going to be maybe 3 laps.
We have a drive-through for Kraus. Track limits.
Ollie Hartman still pushing as hard as he can to get into this battle with Byron and Allen. And so far he's only managed to pull out 2/10 out of that delta.
Seems like the Mustang just has enough grunt coming out from the corners that Allen can't really do much. Ferrari. Seems like he's clearly faster, but just being faster doesn't mean you can easily overtake.
One more lap of no change. Less time on the clock, 3.5 minutes. And I think that might be 3 laps from now. And this is all going to be over. Tick-tock, Jason. P10 is within sight. And meanwhile, in the back, Fickert just got around Kraus. Kraus tumbling down with the gap. He must have just spun out. He's on an invalid lap, too. So I'm going to guess he went off track.
Yeah, that must have
And
been.
it looks like he lost like 10 seconds or so.
Or maybe he just let someone by because he's already...
15 seconds. No, he definitely went off track.
I mean, he still has the drive-through, but he needs to...
Yeah, but letting somebody through doesn't cost you 15 seconds on your lap time.
Yeah, that is true.
And Hartman has caught up to Jason Allen. We've got a proper battle now for P11. He's leaving the door closed. No, just open enough for a car to sneak in, but he does not dare.
In the meanwhile, Velasquez has actually caught up to Higgs. Gap is only half a second. And there is one lap to go after this one. There's one lap to go after this one. Hartman made a big mistake and partially fell off the train, but
I think he just has a different line. He's already back, right back where he was with the Delta on Allen.
I think he did make a mistake and fall off, but because Byron is holding everyone back so much, he just caught up immediately.
Oh,
But you know it's now closed.
nearly making contact there, Allen and Byron. Allen standing on the brakes there.
Okay, your leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
And final lap has started now. Jason Allen looking at the inside or outside, not going to work. That Mustang's looking real wide right now. Goes a little defensive. Jason takes a more typical line. Still has to check up on the apex. Can't get around him.
Yeah, just a little bit too close, and Byron cleverly kind of slows down extra right at the apex of the corner to force Jason to either slow down or at least not get on the throttle as early, and that is all it takes, especially when you have the Mustang straight line speed.
Meanwhile, entering Sector 3 right now, our race leader Thomas Olhausen is about to cross the line into this race and take home a well-earned victory with a commanding gap over LeMay, the fastest gold driver on the grid right now with 4.5 seconds, who is leading Worley by 5 seconds. Very spread out here. Olsen crosses the line, and that's GG. Oh, it's not over yet, though, for everybody. Jason Allen, a 10th behind Byron.
Yeah, he's still trying everything he can. One more corner to go.
Gotta hope for a miracle right now. And it did not come.
Oh, wide on the exit.
It's not enough. Not quite overlapped, but so close. That Mustang is just too fast.
That was quite a fight.
And that's going to wrap it up for this race finale. Good job to all the drivers and congrats to the winners. Let's get them in the booth. 1 second. Who should we start with? Who's available? I don't see any of them right now.
Well, maybe they need a minute or two.
Yeah, I can't find any of them in the voice chats in the servers. I guess they don't want to be interviewed. Oh, there's LeMay. Let's see. Is Worley gonna? There's Worley. Let's start with Worley. 1 sec. Joshua Worley, welcome to the booth. Congratulations on your P3 finish. How are you feeling?
Thank you. I'm feeling pretty good. Not the outcome I exactly needed, but feeling pretty good about closing out the season on the podium at least.
It was close to the outcome you needed. For a moment, you were scoring enough points to take P2 off of Velasquez, but then Velasquez, like 15 minutes left in the race, went up to P9, and I think that's going to be the difference.
I think
if it wasn't already. So I think you're set for P3, aren't you?
I think I finished far enough ahead to get second, but Allhausen is who I really needed to mess up, but he
Yeah.
didn't. So congrats to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, well earned victory from him. His race was impeccable tonight, no mistakes.
Yeah, I was really hoping to see a little DT pop up next to his name, but it is what it is. He had a great season, and I'm looking forward to battling him more.
So out of curiosity, how many warnings were you on at the end?
I saved them all through the first half of the race, but I did burn up all 3 in the last 20 minutes trying to get up there. And I'm not sure if you caught it, but I almost threw away my race with like 3 minutes left.
We did not. What happened?
I don't know turn numbers. I'm sorry.
What sector?
Last sector, the 90-degree right that goes into the sweeping left to the end.
Gotcha. Third to last corner.
I was sent it way too hard through there and about spun the car. I'm surprised I saved it, to be honest.
Oh, was it the curb difference that
Yeah,
unsettled the car nearly killed you? Yeah.
I ended up in the sand pit and 4 seconds slow that lap.
Ooh. That makes the difference, doesn't it? Damn.
Yeah. But
Well,
all in all,
nonetheless, a really good
fun
race
season.
from you.
Thank you.
So I presume we're going to see you next season. Then you said you're looking forward to still battling him.
I'm hoping so. We'll see what division I end up in. I think I'm going to put some time in and push for D1, but D2 feels nice.
Yeah, after this, I'm sure you can count at least on D2 gold.
I'll take that. I don't want another mid-season promotion. I want all the races to count for my points.
Yes, mid-season promotions are the worst. We try and avoid them. Well, before we let you go, anybody you want to shout out?
I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. There's so many people that have helped me throughout the season, and all the guys that you get to mess with and joke with, like Dan Cran and his fantasy team. I'm sure he's loving that he dropped me 2 days ago right now. But it's just a fun group of people. I can't thank just one person. Everyone here has been great, and I look forward to racing with all of these people more and more.
How about your teammate?
I was solo in here.
Oh,
After the mid-season promotion, I abandoned my teammate in D3.
Well, rip him. He
Yeah.
missed out on a
Shout-
pretty slam dunk team championship, didn't he?
It would have been nice.
Well, sorry to hear it. Well, thanks again. Great race, and looking forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you.
One sec. All right, where's LeMay? There he is. Kurt LeMay, welcome to the booth. Congratulations on your P2.
Hey, you got me?
We got you.
Thank you, thank you.
So that was a pretty exciting race, especially around the pit cycle where things really started to shake up. You want to tell us about?
Yeah, I came out right behind Worley out of the pits and tried to make a move at first, but he just put on, like, he just had the pace all night and just started gapping me from there, but gave it a chance, and he was too strong tonight.
Were you expecting a really strong finish yourself tonight? Or were you surprised?
Honestly, I'm pretty surprised with that one. I was hoping to do maybe top 10 tonight. I saw on the practice times this week some guys were really fast, so I thought I was maybe P10 this week, but really happy with that. A little unexpected, honestly.
Very nice. Any particularly exciting parts of the race for you other than the pit cycle?
I think maybe lap one. I think I went side by side with Damiani on the at the hairpin there. Thought might have got a little reckless, but luckily I kept it together and then just kept it clean from there.
Good stuff. Anybody you want to shout out, say thanks to?
Yeah, I got my family and my girlfriend watching, so shout out to them. They've been supporting all season, so shout out to them.
Fantastic. You got any questions, Ilpo?
No, I just want to say congratulations. Good race.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Will you be returning next season?
Yeah, we'll see what we can do next season.
Perfect. Well, again, congratulations and good luck next season. Looking forward to watching you race again.
Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, where is our race winner? There he is. Thomas Olhausen, welcome to the booth. Congratulations on your race win, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. I spent like 300 laps this morning practicing, so it was a hard fought win.
Well,
Wow.
it's paid off. You performed a little more than you needed to. You already had a lead over Velasquez, not a big one though. But you extended that lead tonight pretty hugely.
Well, the last two races, I was racing in my mirrors and looking at the gap behind me, and it hurt both races. And Murder Mountain, I just hit the wall, and Worley goes by me, and there goes a point gap lead. So I knew this race. I just turned everything off and stayed quiet and just looked ahead.
Well, it worked out very nicely. Let's see. I see you've clinched, of course, the Silver Drivers Championship. What about the team?
It was close. I think we had a mishap last race, which kind of put us down in points. We were looking at the gold silver, trying to fight against the other gold silver team, but yeah, I think we're a little too far down now.
Unlucky. Well, what part of the race would you say was most exciting for you? Did you kind of it from our, at least from what we saw, it looked a little bit uneventful for everything outside of the pit cycle.
Yeah, my race start. Luckily, we just developed a single file, started getting the gap. Ivan was ahead of me, and at the beginning, he was a little bit faster. As soon as my tires warmed up, I started catching him, and I actually had to like just give it a little bit of space because I wasn't fighting him for points, so I just left it alone. A couple times,
Sensible.
I had to back off before the sharp kink, the right hand, just to give some space and make sure that he's driving fast. And then the pit, I decided it was time to pit and came out ahead of him. It was pretty wild.
Yep, we saw shortly afterwards that his pit duration was exactly 3 seconds longer than it should have been. So we deduced that he must have missed his pit box, and we think that's what let him you MP3 through the P1 and 2.
Well, it allowed me to at least spread my wings a little bit and go full throttle. I got fastest lap of the race as well, so that was pretty nice.
Yeah, it was
Little
certainly fortunate for you
icing.
because after that pit cycle, his pace started falling off. You and P2 started driving away, so surely you would have been stuck behind him for a while. Things might have
Oh,
gotten
okay.
really feisty.
Yeah, that would have been hard for sure. And I know we had a blue flag at one point that got a little close. It was making me real
Yes,
nervous.
that was Schaefer, right?
I think so. Yeah. Like I said, I turned off all the markers. So I just wanted to drive and look straight ahead. So I was just hoping don't overshoot the corner, don't run into me. I'll just keep looking ahead and we'll go.
Well, listen, good job keeping it together for an hour straight on a tricky track in some fairly tricky conditions. It wasn't wet or anything, but dark certainly complicates things. Any plans for next season? Are you returning to SRA? Same teammate, same car, different car?
Probably gonna be the same car. It looks like it's gonna be our fastest car, but yeah, same teammate, same team, and then yeah, we'll probably be back unless something changes. And then wanted to thank SRA, Doug, and you guys for commentating, and my teammate for being there and helping me through all my setups and pitfalls. And Kelvin Lau came in and pushed me with the cattle prod, trying to make me go faster. I think, and then the servers went down, and I was like, "Oh, somebody give me the conditions. What are the conditions? I need to practice more." So, yeah, it was great though. Yeah, everybody. I mean, the pedigree of the competition here was immense. Worley, Art, I feel so bad for him. He had so many great starts and had just mishap after mishap. So, and then Velasquez really putting the pressure on at the end. So, yeah,
Yeah, he did
appreciate
not
racing
give
with
up.
everybody.
Well, glad to hear it. Thank you too, and looking forward to seeing you next season.
I have a
All
feeling.
right, have a good one.
I have a
Oh,
feeling you
Sorry?
might need a new teammate for next season because you'll
oh
be
no.
D1.
In D1, no, 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 no. This is my favorite track. I just have to, just because I did well here doesn't mean I'm doing well everywhere else.
Well, I think the points tally says that you did well pretty much
Yeah.
everywhere. So
You're at least gonna get D2 gold.
I
Yeah,
have
I
a
expect
feeling
it.
I might be meeting you in D1 and I'm looking forward to it.
I'll see you at the back of the pack then. I don't know where you're at in Q1, but I'll be at the back just putting along. So
Yeah, that's where I am, except for the wet round. So
well, we'll see you there if it happens.
yep.
Thanks again. See you next time, Thomas.
Thank you.
All right, and that's all. That's our podium finishers tonight. If I had the math done, I would also invite some of the teammates of the team championship winners, but that might be some of those might be up to steward decisions in the future. So I don't want to jump the gun on that. So anything else on the menu tonight, Ilpo?
I think we are content-wise done. I just want to say that it has been quite an interesting season to watch, with a lot of close racing happening, and I hope I'll be here to commentate on the next season as well.
Likewise. See you all next time.
Alright, see you all next season.
A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favourite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience today with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style, elevate every lap with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups, premium esports setups for everybody. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specialising in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts and Fairy World collectibles. Magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And from KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. We spend countless hours making you look all good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more.